His second question is, bear with me when I read it. As I thought there was compelling evidence to show that Peter's vision in Acts 10 had nothing to do with food, I am wondering what passages he is referring to. Acts 15:21 seems to imply that after Gentiles new to Judaism start attending synagogue and follow the initial 4 guidelines of the elders, that they will hear Moses preach every Sabbath. To me, this implies that they will have the opportunity to gradually hear why the dietary instructions will be a blessing to follow. I guess I don't view the instructions, as the word Torah implies, as something to be liberated from. God repeats over and over that the consequences for following the instructions is blessing. Why would I want to be liberated from blessing? I suppose I view the Torah as something that some of Judaism's adherents use to manipulate people by connecting Torah observance with salvation, but that was not God's intent then or now. The problem, as I view it, is man's proclivity for legalism and not the Torah. Christianity is plenty prone to legalism, despite claiming that they have thrown off the law.
Yeah, I mean, that I have some problems with the wording of the question, but I also have some agreement with the wording of the question. I agree that the point of the law is not to produce salvation. In other words, I would agree that someone who knows the Old Testament well, either in antiquity or now, would not be reading the law thinking, oh, if I do these things, I will merit salvation. In other words, I don't know how you can do that, and even have the covenants in your head at all, because salvation is initiated, by the God of Israel, by grace. It's really, God is going to have to, be the judge here. It's not a video game, where you just pile up points and then God, says, oh, well, I don't really like you, but I got to let you in here because you have enough points. That's not what the Torah is. So I agree with that. Some of the other things I think are a little odd. I don't know what the compelling evidence to show that Peter's vision in Acts 10 has nothing to do with food. Rise, Peter, kill and eat. I mean, that's pretty clear to me that, the food laws, again, are being, set aside or dispensed with, or at least shown to not be something God really cares about anymore. Because again, it leads to Gentile salvation. So these things aren't part of a relationship with God anymore. Again, rise, Peter, kill and eat. You eat food. So I don't know what the compelling evidence there is to divorce food from that. Acts 15:21, it says this: for from ancient generations Moses has had in every city those who proclaim him, for he is read every Sabbath in the synagogues. That doesn't say to me that the Gentiles are having Moses proclaimed to them. I'm not even sure that that's what the questioner is thinking, but I thought I should throw it out. I mean, to me, it's just a statement. Well, who proclaims Moses? Well, the Jews do. And guess what? Those are the ones who are in the synagogue. So it's still a statement about, Jews. It's not a statement about Gentiles, which is, what Acts 10, is about. And, we're going to ask the Gentiles to do certain things so that they don't offend Jews. But verse 21 isn't about proclaiming Moses to the Gentiles. That's just not what the verse says. But again, having said that, I think, what Paul says is again, kind of the way, this is going to sound goofy, but I think I'm going to agree with Paul here. And that is, look, if you want to observe a day, observe the day. If you don't. If you're going to say, I can eat this or not, or drink this or not, again, possible reference to the food laws, well, go ahead. Either shun it or accept it. Again, Paul's verdict is, look, we don't let these things redefine the gospel in either direction, either the absence or the presence of these things. They're not the gospel in any regard. And you need to do, again, what draws you closer to God. Either way. I'm sympathetic to certain things that I've seen happen in like Messianic congregations that I've been in. Things that, if I had a church, that'd be kind of a neat thing to do. I'd like to. I think it would be kind of neat to follow the Jewish calendar, just because it gets us into the Old Testament. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's certainly not a substitute for the gospel. If you don't do that, there's something wrong with you. You better check your relationship with God. Again, I just don't go there. But I see a lot of the people who are really into this somehow either connected to the gospel, or if they don't do that, they somehow look at themselves as somehow being more spiritually committed than someone who doesn't. I think both are a mistake. I think God allows you to do as your conscience tells you, whatever, again, draws you into a better relationship with the Lord. That's what you should do. So I tend to sort of just leave it there. And there is a lot of legalism. So I'm kind of agreeing and disagreeing at the same time. I agree that if you're in a situation where your church wants to do the Jewish calendar thing, or, wants to preach against eating this or that, look, if this is where you and your people are at, fine. Don't make it legalistic. Don't make it about salvation, and don't pretend that you're more spiritual than somebody else. If you can do that and do those things, I think God's fine with it. Okay, that's where you're at. Worship me, honor me, follow Jesus, do all that stuff. And, just let it there. Guard yourself against making it something it shouldn't be.